Hey everybody, Sinister Lex here, and today we're talking about loneliness and social isolation as an evil villain mastermind. So loneliness and social isolation. How do you prepare for it, how do you deal with it, and how do you embrace it? Any of you who are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe you've just become an entrepreneur, you're going to find out really fast that you are very, very alone and socially isolated from everybody else. All your life, you have had people around you. You've had people in school, you've had people in college, the military, your job. All those people have always been around you, and then whenever you quit your job and you jump in with entrepreneurship or a startup or whatever it is, suddenly you don't have anybody around you. There's nobody. It's like the fucking apocalypse. It's just you and your 3 cats, or at least that's me. And that's how it was for me. It was really hard when I started. So you need to prepare for these feelings of loneliness and social isolation, because as soon as you leave, you're going to be very alone. And you're not just alone in the sense that you're alone all day at home, but you're alone in the sense that nobody else understands you. Everybody else thinks that you're supposed to have a stable job and a stable life, and that you're crazy and stupid for going the route that you're going. But they're wrong, and you're right, and you're not stupid, and they are just whatever they are. Anyway, the point is, nobody's going to understand your mindset. They're going to think in terms of jobs and employment and stable life, while you're thinking in terms of entrepreneurship and building a freaking empire. So there's a separation. There's a social isolation. You will become socially isolated because you're alone at home, and this is something you have to prepare to handle. So, how do you deal with it? Once you jump in with this and you are alone, how do you handle social isolation, and how do you handle loneliness? A couple things that I've found helpful. For starters, you have to find people who understand you. You have to find people who understand what you're going through. They understand that separation. They understand, like, why does everybody else think that way when I think this way? Am I crazy? Are they crazy? Who's the crazy one? You have to find those people who are on a similar path. Others on a mastermind path who are trying to build their own empires. Where do you find them? The best and easiest place is online. I started the Fastlane forum because there's tons of new entrepreneurs over there going through the same stuff. So that's a great place to start. But in your local community, you also have places. You have co-working spaces where other entrepreneurs get together and they talk about things on a regular basis. You have local meetups and different meetings and things. So search those things out too. Search for online communities, search for offline communities. The online ones are the best because you can be in contact with them every day, and you can meet entrepreneurs on Skype and other places like that, and that's really going to help you deal with this. It's going to help you cope with the fact that you're home alone all day, or wherever you are, you're alone. You're freaking alone. And you're also socially isolated. You don't have any friends to talk to, but you can talk to these people on Skype. Understand? So, whenever you go on Skype, you're going to have a friend there who's going through some shit, and you're going through some shit, and you can work through it together. You don't have to get bullshit opinions from people who don't understand where you're coming from or what you're dealing with, because these people do understand. So that's all I've got for that part. Now, embracing it. If you choose to go on with this, if you choose to prepare and then you deal with the social isolation and the loneliness, then you reach a point where you break through that. Eventually, it's not even such a big deal anymore. It kind of fades to the back of your mind. And that's when the real breakthroughs start to happen. Because as soon as you decide to embrace it, you decide to embrace the crazy, you decide to embrace the social isolation and the loneliness, suddenly a new world opens up for you. All of a sudden, while you're at home alone, you have all this time to yourself for all these ideas to be churning in here. And what that means is, even if your first business fails, even if something you're working on doesn't go according to plan, you have plenty of time and silence alone to yourself to figure that shit out and move forward. And something I want to bring up to all of you is that even if you are a little bit crazy and very alone, notice how the hierarchy of villains and masterminds and leaders works. How many presidents do we have in the United States? We have 1. How many CEOs are there in a business? 1. How many owners are there? 1. How many people lead an army? 1. There's always 1 at the top, and you have to think about that because you want to be the 1. If you want to be the evil villain mastermind who's ruling the world, then you're going to have to be a little bit crazy, and you're going to have to be the 1. Because you can either be the 1 or you can be part of the many, but you can't be part of both. And you have to choose which one you want to be. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Building an evil mastermind empire is not for everyone. Some people cannot deal with it, and that is okay. They are meant to be part of the many. But if you want to be part of the one, then you are going to have to dig deep and embrace that crazy so that you can bring out those ideas, think outside of the box, expand, and freaking grow. So you gotta prepare for it. You gotta deal with it, and then you gotta embrace it. And when you do that, you're gonna find out that you have everything you need to be the one in your industry, in your niche, in your own little world. And that's gonna open the world up for your taking. That's all I got for this one, guys. Subscribe down below if you want to see more. Drop me a like if you like this. If you didn't like it, f*** off. And I will see you next time.